What immediately comes to mind when someone says Australia? Before we start with the first story, please hit a subscribe and ring the notification bell to stay updated with us. Story 1. A book I had been reading in my 20s that I lost and never got to finish. It was heartbreaking and amazing, about how the British sent prisoners there as punishment. I don't know if this is a taboo topic, and I'm sorry if I upset anyone. It was wonderfully written, and I wish I could remember the name if it. Story 2. 10,000 ways to get killed by animal, creeps, and critters or plants. Second, though, is I definitely have to go there because of the impressive landscapes. The Blue Mountains are still on my bucket list. Story 3. I think about the green cities around the edges and the massive brown empty space in the middle. I also think about the culture of the people. Or shall I say the stereotypical culture, as I am just realizing I may never have met an Aussie in person. Even though I have had some Kiwis stay at my house. Just an odd thing that I haven't met anyone from Australia. Story 4. Cephalotus, a species of carnivorous plant that's only native to a small area in the southwestern tip of Australia. Also called the Albany pitcher plant. It's carnivorous, but is actually related more to oaks and apples than the other carnivorous plants that we know of. Yeah, cephalotus. Story 5. It was a prison continent. Literally worse than actual prison. Imagine you're a criminal, and then instead of taking you in a car, they take you in a boat full of other criminals to an island in the middle of nowhere, at the time, full of buff, two-legged deer, giant spiders and alligators and birds that will destroy any attempt of farming in this nightmare island that's almost the size of Brazil. Oh, and don't forget the rainforests, mountains, and savanna. That's worse than prison. Story 6. Loud. Australians love to exaggerate, especially to foreigners. So our use of the word cunt is actually a bit less than we would have you believe. We downplay the seriousness of things, portray complete strangers as friends, and basically make a game out of exaggerating everything, then pretending that it's normal. True story. 1:19 a.m. writing this, and a kookaburra just laughed. Story 7. Really far away. I flew there right before COVID and wasn't mentally prepared for just how long I would be on a plane. Toronto to Vancouver, Vancouver to Brisbane. Nearly an entire day. And the best part was when we finally landed. Ladies and gentlemen, we regret to inform you that 187 pieces of luggage did not make it aboard this aircraft. Yep, that would be me. Story 8. Direct competitors. A whole country trying to take Florida's glory away. You will not win against Australia. Do you hear me? We have alligators, snakes, bears, crocs, black widows, sharks, scorpions, and wild monkeys, just to name a few. Florida man doesn't count. Totally in a dead heat with Australia man. Also, mighty car mods come to mind. Story 9. The Outback. Both the landscape and subsequently the American Steakhouse immediately after. Then Kangaroo Jack or Daniel Ricciardo if it's F1 race weekend, cunt. Oh, and the camp counselor that picked me up by my hair to yell at me after he got in trouble for me, tattling on him for teaching me that word. Story 10. So good. I just went there on vacation, and that country is so good. Everywhere is clean, with no trash, so many nice beaches and nice blue water. 300 million less people than the US. No violence and crazy shit going on like over here. Healthy people everywhere. Didn't see one overweight person. If I could move there, I would. The Gold Coast was my fav part. Story 11. The worst person I ever met, who hid how awful he was under the guise of this is what it's like in Australia. We're all like this. We're all like this, being constantly undressed, homophobic AF, racist AF, fatphobic AF, getting your bits out in public, being loud about your unpopular opinion. Just for a few LL, I was a child, by the way. I've unlearned a lot about Australians in the time since. Some of the stuff was right, though. Like how racist some of them are about Aborigines, etc. I was literally told by his mother that Aborigines are half human FFS. And my mother seemed to believe it FFS. No wonder I was so gullible. Story 12. What doesn't come to mind? 25 of the most venomous snakes in the world. Australia has 20 of them, including the top 11. Duck-billed platypus, what the fuck was evolution thinking when it created that thing? Its venom is supposed to be excruciatingly painful. Cassowaries and emus that can disembowel you, though those Aussie knobs couldn't win a war against emu. Big, aggressive Sydney funnel web spiders, fuck that. Pack of dingoes that are worse than Nestles for killing babies. Maybe that's going a bit too far. How the hell did koalas survive the evolutionary process? Because they're stupid animals. And don't get me started on what shit lives in water. The fact that they keep exporting that chemical-tasting Piss Foster's lager. Story 13. Traveling in a fried-out combi on a hippie trail, head full of zombies, I met a strange lady. She made me nervous. She took me in and gave me breakfast, and she said, "Do you come from a land down under where women glow and men plunder? Can't you hear? Can't you hear the thunder? You better run. You better take cover." Buying bread from a man in Brussels. He was 6'4" and full of muscle. I said, "Do you speak my language?" He just smiled and gave me a Vegemite sandwich, and he said, "I come from a land down under where beer does flow and men chunder. Can't you hear the thunder? You better run. You better take cover." Yeah. Lying in a den in Bombay with a slack jaw and not much to say, I said to the man, "Are you trying to tempt me? Because I come from the land of plenty." And he said, "Oh, do you come from a land down under?" "Oh, yeah, where women glow and men plunder. Can't you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover, 'cause we are living in a land down under where women glow and men plunder. Yeah, can't you hear the thunder? Thunder, you better run, you better take cover. Living in a land down under where women glow and men plunder. Can't you hear the thunder? Ooh, yeah, you better run, you better take cover. Where women glow and men plunder. Can't you hear the thunder? Can't you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover. Living in a land down under, living in a land down under, where women glow and men plunder. Can't you hear the thunder? Story 14. Either the crocodile hunter or all the hot Australian college girls who go to my local college. I don't know why we get so many 20-ish-year-old Australian girls coming to my small town in upstate New York for college. But I'm not complaining because they constantly come to the theater where I work. Nah, I'd never actually ask any of them out, since I'm damn near twice their age and don't think that's really acceptable given the disparity in life experience. But it's nice to have some charming, attractive ladies with sexy accents around. And sometimes they flirt with me, which is a nice ego boost. Story 15. As an American arachnophobe that's been living in Australia for 5 years, I'll say America is way worse for spider, snakes, and other deadly wildlife that wants to kill you. Like, everyone jokes about Australia, but America has bears, big cats, rabies. No rabies in Australia thanks to the strict border protection and quarantine laws. And that's just the natural flora and fauna. No need to get into societal issues like healthcare and gun control. Story 16. The land down under. Drop bears, kangaroo, man-killing spiders and snakes in your house. Mr. Cruel, knives, Fosters, the thorn bird, the man from Snowy River, a walkabout, the green whistle, true crime, the Somerton man, calling the indigenous people blacks or blackie or Bob, Steve and family. That one girl who went missing for years, but she really wasn't missing. She was just hiding at her boyfriend's house. The dingo ate your baby. Cleo. Story 17. Men at work. I'm sorry, I'm an 80s kid and I can't help it. That earworm gets into my brain and will not leave. I'm sure Australia is a lovely place with many beautiful flora and fauna, some of which aren't even deadly. But as soon as I hear the name, my brain just screams, where women glow and men plunder. Story 18. My asshole dad left when I was 2. He never called, never sent so much as a birthday card. He has since remarried and had another son, whom he then abandoned to run off to Australia to marry some other lady. Every characteristic of my personality that I can't stand is inherited from him. I met him again when I turned 22, and he spent most of our reunions slandering my mother. I'm sure Australia is lovely, but seriously, fuck that guy. Story 19. Racist. I'm from Indonesia, and a lot of people in my high school went abroad for uni. Everyone I knew who went to school in Australia, mostly Melbourne, Sydney, said they experienced racist attacks at least once, like being shouted racist things on the street. One friend even told me that she got thrown a cup of soda from a moving car when she was walking home one night and being called a monkey. I'm sure I'm gonna get downvoted for this, but yeah, that's the reputation within my circle of people at least. Story 20. The island that billionaires plan to own within the next century, which is why they push the most fascist laws, rules, regulation. Fiona Barnett. Christopher Boyce. Property claimed to be owned by British supposed royalty. Gun monopolization for legalized terrorists that remain accomplices to every crime imaginable. Most strict travel laws to maximize profits in stealing and reselling illegal drugs. Enslaving natives similar to the supposed United States. Heads of government and religion gang raping women and children to death for the last few centuries. Same similar kangaroo shit elsewhere. Most convicted serial killers have prior military training, funding, employment, which is much more apparent and prevalent within the supposed United States than within supposed Australia. Fined if you don't vote for more legalized gang rape claiming to represent or protect or serve others with predatory actions or priorities against those that participate in victimless action. Alright folks, that's a wrap. If you like more of this, please hit a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. You can also share your thoughts in the comment below. I'll see you in the next video.